morning. Thank you to Team One for setting the stage for an awesome experience. My name is Nahamani Yisrael. I am the owner of Nahamani.org.
I'm Becky Harvey. I'm from Kroger.
Wendy Coffing, Great American Insurance.
And I'm Andrea Raible at Great American Insurance.
So we hope you guys are all grounded in your seats because we are going to blow your socks off. We're going to make data exciting, we promise. So when Sweet Cheeks came to us, we found out that they had about 50 partners that they're already working with in the 9 counties throughout the region. But we also found out that they have over 100 partners on their wait list that are dying to be a partner with Sweet Cheeks, and we wanted to help them figure out how can we make that happen? How can we fill the need? There are so many children that need diapers. Where are they currently distributing their diapers? And then that helped us figure out where the gaps in coverage actually are. So this is a really quick overview of the need by the county level. And what we really want to point out is there are some counties in double digits that the need is so great. So the need to donate, the need to get more diapers on these babies is important. So let's go to the next one.
So to start assessing the need remaining in the greater Cincinnati area, we first started looking at poverty rates by county. So this is free available U.S. Census data. Created a heat map to look at the county level, where is the greatest need. The higher the concentration in color would be the higher concentration in the poverty rate. So you can see on the map, Hamilton and Butler, pretty high poverty within the area, but certainly more of the rural areas as well. Brown and Adams County have pretty high poverty rates. We also, when the data allowed us to, looked at everything at a zip code level. One of the things we found in general was there is some nuance within each county when you look at things at the zip code level. So here you can see the concentration in color and poverty rate is different within each area. And so we always try to look at everything at a zip code level as well and point out that nuance when the data allowed us to.
Why we think it's so important to dive into the zip code level data, because if you take Warren County as an example, they have about a 5.9% poverty rate, but as we further explored and dove deeper and deeper, there are pockets of poverty in Warren County where we can actually help have a great impact. So we definitely think that this is a nice strategic way to figure out where the diapers need to go. So one of the things we had to do was to evaluate the current partners, and we took a 4-pronged approach. We wanted to look at the need, or the unmet need in that area. We wanted to find out how far these agencies are distributing the diapers that they get from Sweet Cheeks, what that supply looked like, how many diapers each agency has, and we'll talk a little bit more about the tiers that Sweet Cheeks already has in place. But the most important number that we really had to look at was the impact of the current partners. So here we scored, or we ranked them by impact, and we pulled out the top 10. So we are going to provide the full data set, but we wanted to point out kind of the outliers and the ones that are having the greatest impact. There is a quick disclaimer that some of this information is based on self-reported data. I know, as Wendy told you earlier, some of the information we're using is public census data, so there are going to be a few times when the numbers might not align very evenly, but the story remains the same. The need is great.
Can you go back one? One thing I wanted to point out, and something I think that we thought was very interesting, is the amount of zip codes that these agencies service. So, I mean, you can see that one of these services 59 different zip codes. So no matter where they're located in the tri-state area, they still have a big impact on a lot of zip codes.
So these are some of the agencies where, based off of just impact alone, we think that Sweet Cheeks might want to look a little bit further into this. It might just be a matter of getting the data from these agencies. It might be a matter of realigning with agencies that are hitting the right pockets of children, that 0 to 5 range. We wanted to make sure to point this out as well, that there is some opportunity here to dive in even deeper. That's the thing about data. You look at all the numbers, you run all the numbers, and there's always more exploration that can be done, so.
I think also just wanted to add, when we were chatting with the Sweet Cheeks team, sometimes when a person, the contact at the agency leaves, then there's not a lot of communication because they're not really sure who to contact. So that might be what's happening towards the bottom of the list.
So to get to the story of where the greatest unmet need is, we compared the poverty rates in each area to where Sweet Cheeks is currently delivering diapers. And this is based on 2023, the last full year of data that we had. So you can see on the left, the concentration of raw poverty rate is in Hamilton and Butler County, but also, like I said, Brown and Adams in the more rural areas. But the deliveries are highly, highly focused in Hamilton County and then Butler. So you can see 60% of the diapers that were distributed in 2023 were in Hamilton County. And again, when available, we provided this at a zip code level. So I think we alluded to this before, but there's not a perfect match between zip codes and counties. So sometimes the numbers, depending on the way you look at it, can look a little different. There's also a difference between the deliveries that covered tracks versus the self-reported deliveries and the granularity of that data. So if you see a few discrepancies, it depends on the way we looked at it.
About you guys, but I am a visual person, so being able to see these maps, and we're going to have some time at the end where we'll be able to show you, these are interactive maps, and being able to see this, for me, it helps tell a huge story. Your charts and numbers, I love spreadsheets, but the story is really in those maps.
So again, at the county level, we compared the raw poverty rate to the deliveries and where those are going, and then calculated the remaining unmet need in each area, and here it's by county. So each county in their current service area is ranked by the percentage of remaining unmet need, and that's the concentration of color here. So you can see by far, Warren County has the highest unmet need as a percentage basis. If you wanted to focus more on raw numbers, of course, Hamilton County has over 2.5 million diapers unmet need. You could continue your focus in that area if you wanted to use a raw numbers approach. But if your strategy was more expanding geographically to meet the need, then we would recommend Warren, Butler, Brown, and Adams counties to focus on. So again, when available, we showed the zip code level nuance. The first table over there on the right, on the top, is Warren County, and you can see the unmet need all the way on the right. That column is pretty consistent within the county. So every zip code within the county, there isn't as much nuance. It's a pretty large unmet need in Warren County in general. But down in Brown County, again, all the way on the right is the unmet need percentage. You are hitting some of the areas in Brown County, and there is a little more nuance at the zip level there.
So this is my favorite slide because there is a cute baby. And as a team, we have adopted this baby. This is baby Aiden. But what we want to talk about here is where the tiers are and where we think a really quick win is for Sweet Cheeks. So right now, Sweet Cheeks has 6 tiers, and you can follow along how much it costs to fill the need at each of the tier levels. But we noticed that there are quite a few agencies that indicated they would like to move up a tier. And that is, of course, a quick win for the agency. There's less administrative work to increase it versus bringing on a new partner. So we did identify some of the agencies, and some of them are already at the highest tier available. So we created a 7th tier and wanted to break down the cost of what that could look like in order to get some of those great impactful organizations up a tier.
So I think that this is a strategy decision for Sweet Cheeks to make. Do you continue to focus on your current agencies, allow them to take on more diapers, or do you want to add new agencies? That's kind of up to the team. So we mapped out the 100 plus agencies that are on the wait list. You can see many of those are in Hamilton County, 67 of them. So again, a strategy decision for Sweet Cheeks. Do you want to expand geographically to meet more need or continue to focus on your current concentration of Hamilton County? The approach we're recommending is to expand geographically. And so we focused on Warren County with the highest percentage unmet need. There are, again, the zip code to county mapping isn't perfect. There are 3 to 4 agencies on the wait list in that county now.
Yeah, there are a few zip codes that fall into separate counties. There's a whole lot of stuff that happens in Ohio. I don't know who made the maps originally, but I live in Springfield Township, so that is.
So the 45036 Lebanon is located in Warren County, and there are 3 agencies on that wait list. So we calculated the need for that zip code individually if you were to bring all 3 of these agencies on. The diaper need that they would fill, the monthly cost, assuming 18 cents per diaper, is about $2,400 to at least start to meet the need in that area. But for the 4 geographic expansion counties that we recommended, Warren, Brown, Adams, and Butler, we looked at all of the agencies on the wait list in those areas. There are 11 total. So if you did want to expand geographically and add those 11 waitlisted agencies, we calculated the need in the area, the cost to fill those diapers. By bringing on 11 waitlisted agencies at a cost of $15,000 per month, you could meet 46% of the unmet need in those counties and greatly increase your met need in an additional area.
That is amazing. So when I saw this, I was super surprised. You know, we all came into this kind of with some preconceived notions of what we were going to recommend, and we let the data tell us the story. And I mean, if we can pull this off, this is going to have a huge impact on those baby Aidens out there.
Catherine, we need the QR code so we can start this today.
So here are the actual agencies that we pulled from the wait list that are in the zip codes that we identified having the greatest impact. And we went through each of these to make sure that their mission aligned with what Sweet Cheeks is doing and that the work that they're already known for in the area, they've already built relationships with individuals that are experiencing poverty, that they would be the best choices in those zip codes. So we have some recommendations for you all. So anytime you're working with data, the data is not always going to be perfect. We do think that there are some things that Sweet Cheeks might want to adopt that will help them get better data. So going forward, they'll be able to make these decisions a lot easier. Making sure that they collect the street address of the partner agencies and how far they're distributing the diapers. That became a big question for a lot of them. You know, and this again, because we think zip code data tells the real story, we would definitely encourage you to get the zip codes for distribution for that. As the other group, we definitely think that Sweet Cheeks could be using modern technology, using QR codes, web-friendly forms, in order to get that information closer to real time. So you could have the QR code in your facility where they come pick it up. They could scan it and give you the data right there. Walk out, you have their updated contact information, you know how many diapers you gave them, and that can really help to bring all of the data together. And why not incentivize the organizations that are submitting their reports on time? So, you know, part of your data collection could be to ask for some of those impactful stories. Tell me a story about how these diapers helped out in your community or a family that was impacted by not having to worry about the cost of diapers. And then as a bonus, agencies that submit their information on time could be featured on social media. They could be featured in the newsletter. We could work it into the templates so that there is always shining more light on the agencies that you all partner with. So that is our final slide. We are very thankful to have been able to dig into this. We will entertain questions. And while we're entertaining questions, if the control room can load up the maps.
So one of the deliverables we'll give to Sweet Cheeks is this interactive map at both the zip code and county level. And you can hover over and see all the numbers we provided and all the data behind it in the slides. So if you'd like to dig in deeper at any particular zip code.
And you can see at the top the different tabs that you can
Yeah.
look at.
And
no
And
matter,
we-
Yeah, my question might be more for the Sweet Cheeks team, just thinking, because I grew up in the Dayton area, that Warren County, like that far north Warren County is kind of creeping into the Dayton market. Are there sister organizations in the Dayton area that might already be filling needs that you guys have identified that we like aren't captured in this data, or maybe there's opportunity to get those far, like Lebanon, Springboro, those are borderline Dayton in my head.
Yeah. Before,
There are a couple diaper banks up in Dayton, and we are friends with them, thankfully. So we can say, hey, are you working with this organization, or do they need help? It's nice that people have self-selected to us and know they have to pick up from us as an agency. So my thought is the organizations on that list, at least, are probably not being serviced by a Dayton organization at the moment and are willing to come down to us, but it's a good reminder to check with them as well.
I will say also, when we looked at Warren County, the Lebanon area is a little bit further south and closer to Cincinnati, so it might be in that buffer area of who would come down from Dayton or go up from Cincinnati, but we took that into consideration.
Oh, we are also just saying this is a compelling look at we need a truck. We have been trying to get a truck so we can deliver, because it is a barrier for agencies to come to us. There are agencies that would be on our wait list if they didn't have to pick up from us. So us being able to deliver for a fee would be huge. So we have been trying to get a truck donated, something with a truck for years. So this is an even more compelling case towards that.
So this was like rock star, thank you. I had a quick question. It's, as you're looking at this strategy of, do you expand reach or do you double down where you have strength? And what came to mind was, do you know how much it costs to bring on a new agency, right? And how does that enter the data mix in terms of decision making?
I would say this is the closest we've ever come to getting numbers that would show us what it would take to add somebody else on. The only factor that we have not, this is many. I was going to say at some point, many groups have tried to take on this specific project or thought that they could take it on, and this is the first time it has ever actually happened in 7 years of trying, so. So this is huge. The only component we haven't been able to lay on top yet, and it's because we didn't have this foundational information yet, is at what point we need more staff to actually execute more partner agencies, because it's the numbers get big, and we are, I think, close to tapped out on the program staff side of being able to get everything out the door and manage 50 partner agencies, which one person, Nick, is doing. He's sick today, otherwise he would have been here. I know, he was really bummed to miss this. But we're really excited to go through it with him as soon as he's back at the office. So that's one of the big pieces, is at what point do we add staff? And then how do we get an extra $15,000 plus a month just for the product and supplies?
and just a shout out to Wendy. She used her skills to create these maps, so
Yes.
awesome job, Wendy.
We'll provide you the link for the maps, but also all the data behind the slides, and also a completed waitlist agency workbook that has, we looked up the addresses and zip codes and counties for every 100 agency on there.
Yeah.
We'll give that to you.
First off, well done, ladies. I love quantitative data. Oh, gosh, which is why I suck when it comes to the emotional stuff. So I can't cross over. But excellent information. I'm also an elected official as a councilwoman. And so the truth of the matter is that political interventions, political individuals that operate in those spheres are intrinsically connected when it comes to poverty, when it comes to needs, resources, allocation, distributions of those things. I'm very interested, given this map, and very familiar as well. Once you get more east towards Appalachia, there's a lot of needs. I mean, all the way across the board. I'm wondering if you kind of added another layer for those political elements, and how they can activate and have almost a toolkit so that they can speak to those representatives there, so that they can help to get certain things enshrined in certain municipalities, and then help to leverage other dollars that are already coming through to perhaps refunnel it for that work.
I love that, yes. Yes, we love that idea. Let's keep going with that, because we need all hands on board. We got to do it for baby Aiden.
I was going to say, I'd love to give you a card. Our Director of Community Engagement, she handles a lot of our advocacy work. She is also out today because she is healing from a broken ankle and was on her feet at an advocacy event yesterday. So I'd love to chat with you more about how we might be able to do that.
I'm going to say one last thing, or many things if other people have questions. But since you have a couple people out today, I'm going to speak for all of us here. But if you want us to have like a quick meeting and run through the slides with the folks that weren't here, we're happy to do that as well.
Interactive, and so as we upload new data, they change.
I think it's also interesting that the entire reason we go out to Adams County is because Adams and Brown County are sharing a community action agency. So Adams isn't even part technically of our greater Cincinnati area, but we get to go that far towards Appalachia because of it. I mean, they drive like 5 hours every pickup day to get to us and back just to get the diapers.
I was going to say, so I drive for an organization called Last Mile Food Rescue, and so I just wonder if there's opportunity to collaborate people who do drive for Last Leg, instead of having people come to you, to have the people who are already driving to pick up, extra food from local organizations and get it out to these communities to do the same thing, because we're already in the Cincinnati area driving.
That is a great idea.
Yeah, their model is really great at Last Mile. Did you? No. Yeah. Better together. Oh.
Just for this belt is 3D, y'all. Okay, sorry. You should have seen me in the dressing room. I was acting up in there. And then I was making the sound like, it was, okay. So, my question? Oh, okay. So for my brothers and sisters, so for my sisters in here that are your own bosses, your CEOs, data is never as good. It's not good unless you can actually analyze it and then put action behind it. What would you recommend for us smaller agencies that can capture as much, like the top maybe 1 or 2 priorities we should use, and what sort of system? I'm on my 3rd system because I didn't like how I was aggregating the data, and it was really hard to pull it out to figure out what my strategy was and how I could forecast needs and stuff like that. So what would you recommend that's like affordable and that's user-friendly and can give you kind of the best overview of where you should go in your business dealings?
I mean, legit. Game changers save the world. Anybody else have questions?
Well, to your question, we're
Oh,
big
someone's
Excel
really
users,
gonna answer that. Okay.
but this was all
Yeah.
created with Tableau, public Tableau. It's a public, so it was free to upload. And just a note on data privacy, I did anonymize everything, so because it is a public dashboard, it doesn't reference Sweet Cheeks or diapers at all.
Mic drop.
And just one more thing before we're done. No matter which way you go with this, how you choose to expand, if you level up tiers on existing agencies or add agencies, you guys are doing amazing work. There's such a huge unmet need, so just keep going.
Thank you, data ladies.